the same. Good afternoon. Metro Planning Commission meeting. Happy almost long weekend. The first item is the adoption of the agenda, and we have an updated agenda at our seats. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the approval of the May 9th, 2024 minutes that were emailed out earlier. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
That's been proper motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item D, which is recognition of council members. And Councilman Spain, do you want to speak now or? Okay.
Got it? Got it? Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the commission. I'm going to go ahead and speak now because I have a community meeting starting at about 5:30. So just in case I have to skip out before you get to this, I'm here to ask for your favorable consideration of items 12A and B, which are an SP for 90 single-family residential lots around a quarry and a corresponding change in the community plan from a T2 to a T3 in E. I want to point out a few characteristics of this SP that I think commend it for approval. One is that it preserves the existing quarry as a lake on the property as a natural amenity, both for the residents of this proposed community and also for the existing neighbors. It also includes a greenway connection along the rear of the property, and there's still conversations going on with parks about part of that greenway actually being on this property. It includes 26 acres of open space, 12 of which is the quarry itself. And there's also a cemetery on this property that it would preserve as part of that open space. If you've been on the commission for a while, you may be familiar with the conversations around this property. It's been going on for years. There was a proposal at one point to turn this site into a construction and demolition landfill. There have been proposals to drain it and fill it in. Lots of things that would be very damaging and detrimental to the community and to the environment. I think that we had a virtual community meeting on this proposal last week. We actually had one months ago. Former Councilman Rosenberg had a meeting on this project. That's how long these conversations have been ongoing. But because it had been so long, we wanted to do another one just to bring the neighbors up to speed on what this proposal looked like and make sure they were still on board. And I think it's fair to say that everyone in attendance agreed that this is the best possible use for this site, especially considering the other proposals that have been brought forth on it. You can see from the staff recommendation that there are still some things to be worked out between Parks and NDOT, and those conversations are ongoing. But the option on the property is nearing its end, and the property owner has made it clear that they will not extend that again. So there is some time sensitivity to this. Also, there was a letter included in your packet from the Harpeth Conservancy with some issues about water quality because the watershed is tied to the Harpeth River directly from the quarry. And while I certainly appreciate their mission and where they're coming from, I think they're a little bit misinformed. The intent is not for stormwater to run directly into the quarry. They're going to use water control units, which I don't pretend to know what those are, how they work, but that's the intention to address the stormwater issues. It will not be going directly into the quarry. So I hope that will address their concerns. And with that, I appreciate your favorable consideration. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think that is it for council members. Okay. So the next item for us is item E, which is the list of items for deferral and withdrawal.
Okay, items for deferral or withdrawal on tonight's agenda. Starting on page 3 of your agenda, item number 1, 2023 CP 003005. Staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. Item 2A, 2016 SP 040003, Bethwood Commons Amendment. Staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. In the associated case on page 4 of your agenda, item number 2B, 2024Z042PR001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. Item number 4, 2024 SP013001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. Item number 5, 2024 SP014001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. Item number 6, 2024 SP016001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. On page 5 of your agenda, item number 7, 2024 S016001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 27th meeting. Item number 8, 2024 S025001, Madison Station, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 27th meeting. Item number 9, 2024 S031001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. Item number 10, 2024 S033001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 27th meeting. Item 11, 2024 S042001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 27th meeting. On page 6 of your agenda, item number 13, 2024 S001R001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. Item number 14, 2024 S058001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting. And on page 7 of your agenda, item number 18, 2024 S073001, staff recommendation is deferred to the June 13th meeting.
Okay, thank you. I will read them back to you so we're all on the same page. The items for deferral or withdrawal are items 1, item 2A, item 2B, item 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 18.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, that is our list of items for deferral or withdrawal. Do I have a motion to approve? Is that in a second? Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next, we move on to the consent agenda.
Yes, so now we'll run through the tentative consent agenda. Items on the tentative consent will be read aloud at the beginning of the meeting to determine if there's opposition present. If there is opposition present, please raise your hand and let us know. These items will be heard by the Planning Commission in the order which they are listed on the agenda. If no opposition is present, the item will be placed on the consent agenda. Starting on page 4, item number 3, 2023 SP 013003, 253 Nesbitt Lane SP. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. On page 6 of your agenda, item number 12A, 2023 CP 006002, Bellevue Community Plan Amendment, and the associated item 12B, 2023 SP 076001. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. On page 6, item 15, 2024 S069001, Percy Cove. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. On page 7 of your agenda, item number 16, 2024 S070001, Carruthers Crossing. Is there anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 17, 2024 S071001, re-subdivision of Lot 147 Southwood. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 19, 2024 Z050PR001. This is a rezoning along Maxwell Road. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Item number 20, 2024Z052PR001. This is a rezoning at 1616 Ashton Avenue. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the agenda to be heard. On page 8 of your agenda, item number 21, 2024Z058PR001. This is a request to rezone along Ludi Street. Is anyone here in opposition to this item? This item will be on the consent agenda. Okay, now I'll run through the agenda with the full captions and staff recommendation. If you think I messed up or you need me to pull an item off the agenda, please raise your hand and a staff member will come over. As noticed to the public, items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or the commission requests that the items be removed from the consent agenda. As information for our audience, if you are not satisfied with the decision made by the Planning Commission today, you may appeal the decision by petitioning for a writ of cert with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of entry of the Planning Commission's decision. To ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been met, please be advised that you should contact independent legal counsel. The items on our consent agenda tonight, starting on page 4, item number 3, 2023 SP 013003, 253 Nesbitt Lane SP amendment. This is a request to amend an SP and rezone from R10 to SP for properties along Nesbitt Lane, and to permit an additional 24 multifamily residential units. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions. On page 6 of your agenda, item number 12A, 2023 CP 006002, Bellevue Community Plan Amendment. This is a request to amend the Bellevue Community Plan Amendment to change the policy from rural maintenance to suburban neighborhood evolving. A conservation policy and suburban neighborhood center policy will remain for properties along McRory Lane. Staff recommendation is to approve. And the associated item number 12B, 2023 SP 076001, the Reserve at Harpeth Lake. This is a request to rezone from R80 to SP for property along McRory Lane to permit 90 single-family residential lots. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions and disapprove without all conditions if the associated plan amendment is approved, and disapprove if the associated plan amendment is not approved. Item number 15, 2024 S069001, Percy Cove. This is a request for a final plat to create 86 lots on property along Maxwell Road. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions. On page 7 of your agenda, item number 16, 2024 S070001, Carruthers Crossing. This is a request for a final plat to create 55 lots within the Carruthers Crossing urban design overlay and for property along Carruthers Road. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions. Item number 17, 2024 S071001, re-subdivision of lot 147 Southwood. This is a request for a final plat approval to create 2 lots for property at 379 Ash Grove Drive. Staff recommendation is to approve with conditions including exceptions to section 3 for lot frontage and for lot area. Item number 19, 2024 Z050PR001. This is a request to rezone from RS10 to RM6 NS for property located at 4258 Maxwell Road. Staff recommendation is to approve. And on page 8 of your agenda, item number 21, 2024Z058PR001. This is a request to rezone from RS5 to OR20 ANS for property at 201 Ludi Street. Staff recommendation is to approve. And under item H, other business, item 25, to accept the director's report and approve administrative items.
Okay, thank you. So we'll read these back to make sure we have the full list. So the items tonight that are on the consent agenda are items 3, item 12A, item 12B, item 15, 16, 17, 19, 21, and 25.
That's correct.
Okay. Commissioners, that is our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? And a second? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. So I think the only item we'll be hearing is item 20. Oh, no, the applicant will be up to speak first. We'll start the public hearing in a moment.
Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you, and welcome to
Thank
your
you.
first presentation.
Thank you, commissioners. My name is Ozzy Orozco. I am presenting item number 20. This is a request to rezone from single-family residential to 1 and 2 family residential zoning for a parcel addressed 1616 Ashton Avenue. Staff recommendation is to approve. The .37 acre site sits mid-block south of Ashton Avenue, just west of Heights Ferry Road. Surrounding land uses include single-family, 2-family, and multifamily. Non-residential land uses such as warehouse, office, and religious institution are south of the subject site. Surrounding zoning includes RS10, R10, and specific plan zoning district, as well as industrial warehouse distribution and industrial restrictive. Ashton Avenue and Heights Ferry Road are local streets. The policy is Suburban Neighborhood Evolving Policy, which is intended to create and enhance suburban residential neighborhoods with more housing choices. Policy supports residential zoning districts, including the requested R10 zoning district. Staff has evaluated the request and found that the proposed R10 zoning is consistent with the surrounding development, including recent zone changes along Elizabeth Road. As such, staff recommendation is to approve.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Is the applicant here? Are you the applicant for this item? Okay. You will have 10 minutes, and you come up here to the podium, and they'll help you get it turned on. Please start with your name and your address.
My name is Carnell Scruggs, and I'm the owner of the property. I would like to get this property rezoned. It complies with the community plan, so I would like for you all to approve it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We'll hold 2 minutes back for your rebuttal at the end if needed. Is there anyone here speaking in support of this item? Anyone speaking in opposition? If you will come forward and please start with your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Jennifer Johns, and I live right next door to the lot at 1618 Ashton Avenue. First, I've spoken with Jim Kimbrough, and we haven't had our community meeting yet for this rezoning. I do have a petition that multiple neighbors have signed that they want to remain with the integrity of our neighborhood as being one home. We're not opposed to building on, one home. This particular property has had several issues, including with mine being the grade is so low, from the roadside, that several years ago they did put in culverts that go down in front of my home, in front of the property, and down the right side. So after speaking with Logan Bowen with Metro Water Services, I would like some guarantee that the stormwater that obviously on the right side will be fine, but the lot is so low it will have to be built up on. And there will be some kind of guarantee that I would need either a line swell or a retention wall with a ditch that's going to connect to the ditch that's already in front of the property. It has affected the foundation of my home through the years, especially before the ditches were put in. So that is my main concern, and having two homes will definitely increase the stormwater runoff, and I'm concerned about more damage to the structure of my home. I do have photos of the lot, my home, and the petition if anyone wants to see those.
If you want to submit those, they'll circulate
Sure,
them.
yeah, and Joy Kimbrough, did say that we were going to be having a community meeting that should have happened first, and that's going to happen sometime in June.
Okay,
Okay.
great, thank you. Did something happen to the sound? Thank you. Anybody else speaking in opposition on this item? If not, the applicant will have 2 minutes for any rebuttal that you would like to make to the opponent's comments, or if not, you don't have to. Okay, thank you. And I guess our councilwoman is not here, so with that, we will close the public hearing. Are there items that she wanted to submit into the, okay, making them, okay, okay. Okay, well, with that, we will go ahead and, as it's coming around, we'll open up the commissioner's debate. Commissioner Smith, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. I'm generally sympathetic and pro on the staff recommendation. It seems like the evolving neighborhood character supports the rezoning. I have confidence in our stormwater department to plan this effectively, and I'd hazard a guess that when stormwater gets a plan in place, it'll probably be better than an empty lot. So I'm inclined to support the recommendation.
Thank you. Commissioner Allen?
I also agree. It sounds like it supports and is in line with the T3. Bringing up the issue with not having had the community meeting is a concern. I think it's at least worth the time to hear what the community has to say. Although I do agree currently with the staff recommendation, I would still think it might be fair to let that community meeting happen.
Council Lady Gamble?
Thank you, Chair. I agree with the comments that have been said. I would say that there's still an opportunity to have a community meeting before this goes to the council process. It has to go through 3 readings in the council, including a public hearing in the council. So there is still opportunity for that community meeting to happen before this is actually approved on the council level. But I agree that it looks like it does fit the community policy. There are surrounding R10 zoning in this community, and it seems that having something built that would create housing with stormwater's stringent regulations would be a benefit to the community. But I agree that we need to have a community meeting, but there's still time to do that before it goes to the council. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Henley?
Yeah, I don't really have any comments to add. I do agree with the sentiments expressed by my fellow commissioners and council lady.
Commissioner Clifton?
Well, I can understand the concern in the neighborhood because they've seen specific consequences from things that have happened. I think we've made a lot of progress in process since then. Neighborhoods and residents have become more interested in working early on in the process. It is always optimal to have some kind of community hearing, but as a colleague of mine once reminded me, it's not a rule or a law. There is a public hearing at the council level. And while in some complicated and really multifaceted developments, I might feel a little bit differently to have something coming without a lot of massaging in the neighborhood, but I feel like in this case, it probably, it will be something that will, as you said, improve because of how our regulators have become better at coming up with appropriate safeguards in this situation. So I'm generally supportive.
Commissioner Marshall.
Thank you. I would agree with the comments that have been made as well. I think with the developments that are going on Ashton Avenue and that surrounding area, I'm sure that the water issue would be covered. The school is there, the YMCA is there, and all of the things that are going on that particular street and within that area. I don't think that it's going to be an issue from a water issue standpoint. Therefore, I would agree with the other comments that this would be something I would support.
Okay, well, I guess we've heard from everybody. Does anyone want to make a motion? Councilor Gamble?
Thank you. I make a motion to accept planning staff recommendation for approval.
Okay. Do we put anything, or can we put anything in about a community meeting, or is that just encourage this?
I trust that, I mean, we have a council rep here, and so I think part of her role is to communicate with her colleagues, and so if you would be comfortable with that, I think that's a good way to go, mainly because it's not a requirement, and so we don't want to confuse the conditions. Confuse the conditions.
Okay.
Is that acceptable?
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries. So that gets us to the end of our items for public hearing. I guess we turn to Historic Zoning Commission. Have you gotten to go to a meeting?
We have no real update that impacts the planning commission. We had several interesting downtown projects, but nothing really noteworthy for the commission.
Okay, thank you. Parks?
I think simultaneously. No, I think I just didn't. I've been more gentle with the buttons lately, based on my history. No, I'm just going to report that simultaneously, I believe the Parks Department is going before our Budget and Finance Committee, and so hopefully they're doing very well. I plan to head over after our meeting just to show my support, but no report other than that.
Thank you for your dedication. Executive Committee, I don't think we have anything. I guess the only thing would be a reminder to look at Lisa's email today about our quorum issues, potential quorum issues in June and July. I know I'm contributing to that, so. But please pay close attention if your plans change in June and July. And I don't think there's anything else that I am aware of at this time. So, anything from you, Director?
Yes, just to reiterate, we have a pretty time-sensitive zoning that we do need to review in the summer. And so Lisa did send that note. We would be grateful to you to just keep that in mind as you think about your summer, and let us know if we run into a situation where we need to do a special call meeting. That will be what we end up doing to try to get the case heard if needed. The second thing is we did go before council last week and had a good presentation and feedback. I want to thank Councilwoman Gamble for her role here regarding our budget, and it went really well. Angie Hubbard shared a lot of information about the housing program, and I did about sort of the planning work we're undertaking. One thing to make you aware of that we'll probably do a work session or something in the future on is the mayor has issued 2 executive orders pertaining to how we plan for metro property in the city. And I mentioned previously that there is a scenario where the planning department would have a larger role, and that is actually playing out. And the truth of it is, this is work we're already doing. It's just formalizing those processes. And so there are two groups. One is a group really focused on metro office needs. That's going to be headed up by General Services. And then there's a second group that is going to focus more on special projects, both internal and external facing. And I would call external facing to include housing, for example. So these are things that are not directly, uses that aren't directly for metro. And so the planning department is going to have a role in administering the engagement with the mayor's office and with council. And we have 3 new positions that will need to be filled to help us fulfill those projects. And these are position requirements that we really don't, we have a mix in the office of folks who know how to do some of that kind of work with background, but we really are seeking some expertise in the real estate industry on this, and I will share those executive orders with you so you can see those. I'm very grateful that both council and the administration have funded planning, not only for the positions, but also if we need to just ask for a consultant support, we can do that. And it's important to do that when you're really in an area that is a new program or function. And so we have several folks on the commission with real estate development background, and I will be calling you to get some advice about how the department undertakes this work. But I'm very excited about it because it's work we've been doing. I think there are a lot of questions within the community and council about how we think about metro-owned land, the way that we prioritize our uses, the policy framework that shapes it. I have opinions as a planner about what that looks like, but I think that needs to be stress tested with this commission and with council and others so we can all make sure that we're moving in the same direction. This is a public trust, metro and land is. And so more to learn on that. And I think with that, I don't have any other comments, but I appreciate all of your service to the city and to the commission.
Well, thank you. It's interesting to hear how the department is continuing to evolve.
Yes.
Last but not least, legislative update.
Thank you. I just also want to thank and commend Director Kemp and the planning staff for the work that you all did in putting the needs for the budget up front. I'm happy that the mayor's budget does include funding for the comprehensive housing study, that legislation that the council approved a couple of months ago. So that's great. We can get that work done and have the funding needed to do that. So I think that's all I have.
Okay, well, with that, unless there's any other items, do I have a motion to adjourn? All right, well, I guess we're done.